Do you ever wonder how some people always get to you? Well, it's not random. It is planned from the very beginning. They know exactly which button to push. And the moment you give a reaction, they win. You have just lost everything. Because the one who stays calm is the one who comes on top. So if you do not learn to hold your fire, you will fall for this trap. Now, to prevent this, I will present you today with 4 points that have personally helped me a lot to never fall for this trap again. Because I was one of those persons that if I got insulted, I would just react. But now, I do not care, which mostly YouTube has helped with it. But also, there was no point in reacting anymore. I was just done reacting. There was no energy left for me to react even. And at that moment, I started seeing the result it got me. And that is the moment that changed me. But I do not want you to get there. I want you to be before it, beat it before it gets there. And that is what I will be showing you today. So, as for the first point, they know your weak spots better than you do. So, think of a weak spot right now. Because I can give you 1000 examples. And if it's not the one tailored to you, what's the point? So think of an example that you struggle with. That is something that hits you deep if they talk about it. So for me, it was going to the gym. I was not the most athletic person that was out there. And I will get mocked by it. So they will just go, "You go to the gym? Man, you must be crazy." And I was standing there, and it was just a knife chopped right into my heart. And that was, and then it was just, yeah, I go to the gym. But deep down, you were thinking, man, he is right. I'm struggling with going to the gym. I don't know. It's also hard. And that is the feeling I had. And they would just continue to do that. That after a time, it just became, yeah, you laugh, but really deep down, no. And that is the moment you get defensive. Because when you get defensive, they get a reaction out of you. They want to pull a reaction out of you. Or be that so-called funny guy. Because everyone right now wants to have a status that is above people. So what they want to do is knock you a little bit down. So they study you, look for your weak spot, and then punch after punch after punch after punch after punch. That is what they're doing. They do not want to be that person's self. So they will just do that. Criticize you on everything. That is what I had. I had someone I would go to the gym with. But what he did, he went to criticize everything just to knock me down. See if they dumbbell press. Every inch he can go see, no, this is not right, this is not right. He will try everything just to drop me the weight. Well, it did not happen. But still, the feeling being criticized every time, that was the moment that got to me. And why does it work so well? Because if you want to prevent this, you need to know why it works so well. So you can see it And then afterwards, when I give you the solution, you can get to it and beat it. So why does it work so well? People notice what makes you feel insecure, like your appearance or something you're sensitive about. They will use those weaknesses to get under your skin. And when you react emotionally, you end up looking weak and defensive, which gives them the upper hand. That is why it works so well. That is why bullies feels like powerful people, because you give them the reaction, and that is all that they need. Now, for the second point, they stay calm when you get emotional. And I do not mean by that crying, just showing emotions, but not a subtle man, it hurts. No, did you say something back? Well, they're standing, whoa, man. That's what I had. I was the person who would come at the latest seconds. At the very last second, I would come. But sometimes I would get all sweaty because I just left too late. And then I got to school, I will sit down, and then some kid will just walk 2 minutes later in, just very cool, no sweat and everything. And he will just say to me, "Oh, looks like you were late again. At least I'm not sweaty." Then I will just react with, "No man, at least I'm on time. You now have detention." But then it was just a funny joke. Or maybe then it was an insult. It can be either one of those happening to you. But what I will do, I would react. And then it was like, I was the one out of line. Well, they were. But that is not what other people saw. They only see you as that person who is out of line. That was the only thing they saw. And that is what they're using against you. So what do you need to do by that? Well, understand why it works so well. When someone says something to upset you and you start getting worked up, they stay calm. This makes them look in control and it makes you look out of line. So if the next time someone comes up to you and says something like that, or any way they try to mean and to upset you, just say, okay. Just give the most driest reaction you can give. Because then they don't know what to do. They expect that reaction. But if they do not know the reaction they're going to get, then they need to improvise in milliseconds. And that is not something most people can do. And the third thing, this is a classical example. Some people want to confront you, but they are too small to do that alone. And what works the best in this moment, in this society we live in? It is social pressure. What it is, you use leverage other people's opinions. So instead of confronting you alone, they will gather a group. And then it feels like not one person is upsetting you. No, it feels like 10 persons are pressing onto you. And then the most logical reaction you give is a reaction. And that is something I had. I was in a group of friends, but then someone would make a joke. But just the reaction and the urge to give it, that was always what got to me. And to simplify this for you, they will make a joke. And then it was for me, simply I had two choices. Reaction or stay calm. Well, I can tell you, I did not choose the option to stay calm. I would just react. And what did I do? Now it feels like I'm reacting to 10 people. So I will get louder, more aggressive. And then again, it looks like I'm the one out of line. But I did nothing wrong. And that is the same thing you're experiencing. That is just how it works. If someone calls you out in front of a group, it's just a psychological meaning in your head. It goes like, it are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people pressing onto me. And that is what they use. Because then they feel powerful, that they have a force of 10 people going towards you. But then if you react calmly, I will give you a solution to this now. If you just react calmly, do not give that reaction. Walk away or just say, yeah, just that dry reaction in general. So let's say, for example, they mock you about something. Now, we take the example of a school project or at a work project. In front of the group, they go, yeah, now we're behind because you did not do your part. Instead of reacting, no, but I was busy and everything, I did do my part and you're wrong. And no, just say, all right, anything else to add? And then they're going like, at some point they will get that reaction. If you just ask, all right, something else to add, at some point they will just flop. They will lose, essentially. And as for the last thing, they trigger your need to be right. And that is just, if you're that person who always needs to be right and does it by everything, yeah, welcome. That was me. I needed to everywhere get my right. So, for example, they will just say, you do not need this amount of hours to be productive. Then I will go, yeah, but it is shown. Yeah, man. Now you're in a discussion, and I will get into that 9 out of 10 times. Once I had a discussion if a gasoline car or a diesel car was better in sound. That was a discussion I had for 8 hours. You're wasting time, wasting energy, and they get the reaction out of you. And you get more forcefully because you want to prove you're right. You want to prove that your point is the point they need to follow. So, why this works so well? Because it's one of the most used things. If someone says something that's clearly wrong, you can't help but feel the urge to correct them. That is what's happening to you. Now, you start defending your point to prove you're right. But the more you argue, the more you look like you're overreacting. Meanwhile, they stay calm and win everything that they just want. They will only do that to get a reaction out of you. For 99 out of 100 problems that occurs with someone that's trying to upset you, mock you a little bit, or trying to knock you down, it is the reaction that makes you go down. So now, to give you a quick recap of this video, let's get into it. They know your weak spots better than you do. People use your insecurities against you, making you react emotionally and look overreactive. Solution: stay self-aware. Do not give them the satisfaction. That is just what it is. Do not give them the reaction that they're looking for. That is what most of the times is said when you have a bully do not give them the reaction, because then there is no satisfaction in them. Second point, they stay calm when you get emotional. When you react emotional, they stay calm, making you look irrational, but also out of line. Practice staying calm and composed. And this is something that goes over time. Just remind yourself and reflect on it. Just give yourself the reflection. I've just went out of line. It was not good. If you reflect on yourself enough times, you see progression. But most importantly, after some time, you would just stop reacting. Because then the first thing that pops in your mind when that insult comes, is just, no, I do not react. Because I know what they will win, and I do not want them to win. Third point, they use public pressure to make you crack. When you're called out in front of others, the presence of other people forces onto you. Well, what you need to do is do not give them the reaction. Do not respond. Because then it feels like for them, they are pressing 10 people against them. And the last point, they trigger your right. Your need to be right. That is just when someone challenges you, do not go in that discussion. Especially if it is a discussion about the dumbest things you can do. If poop on the street or poop from a dog is wrong. That kind of like discussions. So that whole video, that is everything that you need to learn. Reflect on yourself, and then one thing, your reaction is the thing that gets them the fuel and the satisfaction. So prevent it, use this, reflect on yourself, and enjoy those nice winning moments. Until then, I hope to see you in my next video.